This is Irontrader. This is the last call of the day. So we'll take a look here at Bitcoin, Ethereum, ETH, and we'll take a look here at gold and silver, and then we'll take a look here at crude oil and natural gas. Now the indexes are pretty red on the Nasdaq and on the S&P, but the Dow is just ripping up over 500 today. Okay, at the end of the video, the support and resistance levels are posted for crude and natural gas. This video is for information for adult, not a recommendation to buy, selling stock, about ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Alrighty, here we have Bitcoin, your daily and your weekly chart. Okay, so let's just take a peek, see what we have. Now you can see here one right up almost toward that 21 day. Didn't quite hit it, and then we have a big engulfing candle here today. Okay, so on the upside, here's what we're looking for. You got to get back above that 104,283 level. That's going to be very, very key. Then we have your 8-day sitting right there at 104,606. Now this morning when we came in, that 8-day looked like it wanted to curl up, but with this red candle, not going to happen. It could possibly cross over that 21-day or 200-day, which would not be good on the upside. Okay, so again, just watch that 200-day. That's going to be key, 104,282, and then watch that 8-day at that 104,606 level. Now we get above that, we come up here to the bottom of that candle. You're looking at 105,755. We'll come up to the bottom there, 106,210. Then we'll follow the candles up, 107,30 level. We'll come to today's high, 107,900. And then we have that 21-day at 108,318 level. Now again, we get above that level right there. Then we're looking here right to the bottom of that candle. You're looking at 109,300. We look to the bottom there, 109,820. And then we follow that candle right there, 105,755. We come up here to the top of this candle. Right here, you're looking at 111,785. And then we'll be looking here for that 50-day at 112,794. And we're looking for that 100-day at 113,642 level. But right now here, this is not looking very, very good here. But we, again, like I pointed out, we have a declining chart here. So we have a high, lower high, and a lower high situation. And then we have this series of lower low kind of situation. So we have a declining chart situation going on here. Okay. So now this is what we're going to be watching. So today's we got down to a low of 104,565 level. The next level we're going to be looking for is the bottom of that candle. That's at 101,390 level. And we'll come down here at what am I looking at? 101,390 level. And then we'll come to the bottom of that candle, 108,15. And then we're going to be looking right there at that 99.90. That's going to be very, very critical on a closing basis. Now, we start losing that. That's not good. Okay, we're going to be coming down here at 98,615. We got next level is going to be 96,780, then 94,745. Then we'll come to the top there, 91,970 level, and then we'll come to the top of there at that 89,20 level. If we start losing, the bottom line is not just that 99,250, but this the candle we're watching is that 99.90 level. Now again, for me, I traded the BITX on alongside, but I traded BITI, which is basically the short. And the reason I jumped into short here, you can see, is because it went up towards that 21-day and it couldn't hold it, and it pulled right on back. And then once we start losing all that 8-day to the 200-day, not good. So right now we got to see how that's going to shake out. Realistically, the future's at 6 p.m. We've got to see how that's going to be. Okay, here we have the weekly chart. Now, the weekly chart is still, right now, is intact, okay, because we're holding that 50 SMA all the way and up, and even right now, we're holding that 50-day. Now, we lose it. This is what we're looking for, is that 99.90 level. Right there, just look at the bottom of that candle, okay? And then we can come right down to the bottom of this candle here. You're looking at that 93.6 mark, and then we have on there at that 89.20 mark, okay? And then we could come down here to the bottom of that candle. You're looking at 83.190. We have right there 83.140, and we can come all the way down here, retest this 74.6 level. Very, very easy. But again, we have to lose that 50-day on a closing basis. This is only Tuesday, so we got plenty of time situation. On the upside, you can see here, see where that 8-day crossed over that 21-day. That's never good, okay? You just never want to see that. That's always very, very bearish. Just for a perfect example, that price has to get back up there. If not, we're going to just push that price down lower, okay? So upside, if it does rally up here, watch that 110 area, and then watch that 113 area. Be very, very crucial. Now, you're not overbought or oversold. Same thing here. Now we have this sideways action that never curled up above that red line. Same way here. This is nowhere near oversold. And the green is below your red. That shows we're having momentum to the downside. So right now, you got to be very, very careful on this. Okay, just watch the bottom of today's low, that 103.70. If not, we're going to go to that 101 area, and we come all the way down here to this 99.250 area. Okay, upside, that 200-day, that's everything. Get above it. Then we have the 8-day, the 21-day, 50-day. But right now, your price is below all your simple moving averages. Not good. Okay, let's take a look here at Ethereum, ETH. All right, here we have Ethereum, ETH. Okay, a lot of people trade this. I trade Bitcoin, but the charts look very, very similar. Okay, so we have the same thing. You have high, lower high, lower high, low, lower low, lower hold. We have a descending channel going on the downside here. Okay, so now it looks like we lost that 8 day, but the good news is, like on Bitcoin, we filled that gap. Okay, which is always good. So on the downside, you want to watch today's low, 34.52 a level. That's going to be very, very key. Okay, we could come all the way down here and retest this level here, 32.56. We come down there at that 32.02. And then we come down here at 31.78, and then your big retest here is going to be right there. It's going to be 30.70, and then we have your 200-day right below it at 30.62, which should, I would think, probably would hold if it comes all the way on down. Now, upside, you got to get back above that 8-day 35.04 level. If you can, we'll come to the bottom of that candle right there at 35.70 level. Then we can look at yesterday's high, 36.70, and then we'll be looking for that 21-day at 37.74. Got the old Hondo up here at 38.59. Then we'll come to the top of that candle at 39.39. We got 40.41 level, and then 41.18. That is your 50-day. And then we have your retest up here, which is basically just the top of that candle at that 43.01 level. Right now, not overbought or oversold. The same thing as that, like on the Bitcoin here. We're holding on to the bottom. We had the consolidation, and now we're having a real tough time moving to the upside with this declining channel. Okay, on a weekly basis here, you really want to hold. You can see where it sold off here last week, but you went through the 50-day, but you held that 100 SMA. You held the 50-day on a closing basis, but look how nice that held it. So far what we have was they call it just an inside week. Your high and low is the inside the previous week. But again, it's only Tuesday situation. Now, the green crossed over your red shows momentum to the downside, which is pretty obvious here. And then we had that like a little bit overbought condition, and then it came right on down. But this is nowhere near oversold. You can see it come all the way down here, and we're still only sitting here up at that 47 level. Okay. Now, when you look here on this chart here, you can see here where we had that double top situation. It couldn't hold it, came right on down, and been selling ever since. And now this 8-day, look how the 8-day is crossing over, going to be crossing over that 21-day, and that's not good at all. That's not bullish in any way, shape, or form. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. Okay, here we have gold and silver. Okay, so I traded GLD into gold, and right now I sold out today because we have this indecision candle, even though we're holding that 21-day. So right now I just kind of sold out because we have that indecision, doesn't know which way to go. So what I'm watching for on the downside is the hold of that 40.97. So that's what I'll be watching at 6 p.m. tonight when the futures open. If it holds, I can always jump right back into it. But yesterday we had a nice green day, and today I figured I'm going to take some profits. And I'm not really what you call a big gold and silver trade. So again, I can see where we didn't have that big run up going on. It kind of held it right there at that 41.55 level, because all you got to do is bring it over to the left here, 41.59. It couldn't get through that. So I decided I just dumped it out, and so now I'm waiting. So on the downside, this is what I'm watching, 40.97, and I'm watching that 8-day at 40.25. Now, when the futures open at 6 p.m., this 8-day is going to be higher. So this here should be, you should hold good support here. These got like a nice, good rounded situation going on here, and we had that consolidation. But let's just see, it's not worth the risk. I can buy this here anytime, 24 hours a day. Doesn't make any difference. You just jump right back in. Okay, so on downside, just watch that 21-day, watch that 8-day. We lose that. We got the 50-day here, and then we have the retest at 39.01. Upside, okay, what we'll do is we're watching the top of that candle, 41.59, and then 41.71 and 41.75. That is going to be your next level of resistance. We come to the bottom of that candle, 42.29. We'll come up to here, 43.46, and we're looking for 43.98 level. Okay, that's what we're looking for. We cracked that. Yeah, you're going to go to that 44, but I think you're looking for that 4,500 mark. Okay, now 58. This is not overbought or oversold. The green has not crossed over yet, so we don't have quite that big momentum thing. We had a really good day yesterday, but not much of a follow through today. Now silver. Totally different. I am still long the SLV from yesterday because this held up, held above the 21-day. But now you have a lot different candle than we have that indecision candle there. Okay, so that's how I just trade. I just trade candlesticks. So on the upside, we made 51.10. What we're looking for next, we're looking for right here, 51.61. We're looking 51.83. We march it up to that 52.63 and then 53.76. We crack that, you're going to go up to that 55 level. That's what I'm looking at. Downside right here at 21 and 7-day, everything 49.05, and then we have that 8-day at 48.54. As long as we're holding this here, we're looking very, very good situation. We'll see what the futures bring tonight at 6. And that 8-day should be higher, almost probably once across that 21 SMA, which would be very, very bullish on the silver. Now, again, if we happen to lose that, 47.78, 47.41, right here 46.52, and then the 50-day 46.58, and right here 45.51. That's all your key support levels here. Now you can see where the green crossed over your red on this. Nice, gives you momentum at the upside, and you're sitting at only at 62, and you got plenty of room to run. So right now I got the SLV going, and I have no position in gold going. All right, take a look here now at crude oil. All right, here we have the old crude ski, your daily chart, and we have the weekly chart right below it. Okay, the reason I want to show you is I want to show you all the simple moving averages here on the weekly. Okay, a little bit longer format. All right, so now you can see where what we have today is actually I jumped into the UCO there a little bit there today. I'm all out of the trade right now. It got as low as 21.70. I didn't get that. I got a little bit late. I got in at 21.80. And then I got out of it at 22 flat. Okay, so it was 20 cents. I'm trading 5,000 shares. So that was pretty good there in the Okutski. Okay, so you can see here where we went right up into this 50-day, but I said respect that 50-day because of this, and this that we couldn't close above. And look what happened again today, right into it. Okay, so we got to get above that 50-day. That's going to be very, very key at 61.39. We hit that price challenge 62.59. We hit that 100-day at 63.47. And then your next is 64.84, and then here's your next upside target in your resistance area at 64.642 level. Okay, very, very simple. Downside, even simpler. Okay, just watch 8 days. Got to hold that 60.30, and then right here you got to hold that 59.71. That's going to be very, very crucial. We lose it, we come down to the bottom of that candle, 58.83 level, right there. 58.08, and then we have 57.34. We have 56.35, and your retest 55.96. Now, there was a left shoulder ahead and the right shoulder, but the right shoulder is really, really dragging out here. So I don't know if that's actually going to play out, but if it did, the target is going to be right there at 66.42. Okay, so you can see here how we have this declining situation, high, lower, high, lower, high, but just watch that 50-day. That is everything. Now, here on the weekly chart here, let me just take this out a little bit. You look at this, you can see the declining chart that we have, okay? That's just reality. Now, again, what we need to do is, got here on a weekly basis, if we want to hold that 60.56 level. That's what we want to hold, okay? That's looking pretty good. And then if we can get it right to that 21-day. You're looking at 63.10, and then we have that 65.99 level. That is your 50-day. But again, respect that 50-day because of this. See how it went into it, couldn't do it, into it, couldn't do it. And look at all this. You couldn't close above it. So what makes you think that it's going to do it next time? Okay, so that's the key, is that 65.99. Now, when you look on a weekly chart here, this is another thing I want to show you. You see we have this big red candle, or green candle, I should say. Then we have this little flag. See, you got a bull flag situation going here on the weekly chart. Now, again, if it keeps on extending, well, then that would negate the pattern. But right now, there's like a bull flag set up here. So this could pop up. But again, if it does, just watch that 21-day, watch that 50-day. It's going to be very, very crucial. But on a daily basis here, just watch that 50-day. That's going to be everything. If you get above it, then we got some nice targets at the retest, and then we have a nice target there at the 21-day, and then the 200-day, and then the retest up there. But let's just see. Be patient with this. To me, it's just a trade. Okay, let's take a look here now at natural gas. Okay, here we have natural gas. Now you can see here it was a really good trade today. I jumped back into the UNG. Really good. It got down to 14.18. I didn't get that. I got 14.25, and I got out at 14.70. So, okay, that was a really, really good trade today, and I'm trading 5,000 shares. Now I'm just going to wait and see what the futures are going to bring. And, that's how I trade it basically right now. So you see it came right on down. And well, let me see if I can pick that up a little bit for you. Okay, that's better. Okay, so it came right on down here and held that 8-day. But what I was looking for is today it made that low of that 4.27. Yesterday made that low of 4.26. See how we have that higher low situation? That's what got me into it, okay? And holding that 8-day here, okay? So it just came down, held that, and then rallied right on up. And I figured, okay, that's the time for me to get in. Now, again, if we start losing that 8-day, then we'll come down right down to this level here. You're looking right here at that 4.18 level. Then we just march it on down here to that 4.08. And then we come down there at that 4.01 level. And then we come down here, top of that candle is 386, and the bottom is 375. And then we come right down here to that 371, your 21-day, and then 358. Now, again, the bottom of that candle is the gap. So you always want to watch that 375, and then the top of the candle is 343. But again, this is rallying up here very, very nicely kind of situation. Okay. So now on a high note, it got us all the way up to 3.58. So all we were doing is looking at the left of the chart here. Okay. So what we're looking at here first is we're looking at that 42, which we ran into. Okay. Then we look at 51, and then we're looking at that 55 level. Okay. And then right here, this is the next level, is that 4.58. And then today, what do we get here is high? Is we got as high as 4.58. See that? See how nice that works? Okay. See the beauty. See, now your next level on a daily is really nothing. This is just sticky up here, and that could zoom right to that 490 very, very easily. Okay, so just always just remember that could zip right on up here. Now let's take a look at the weekly here. Okay, so we look at this weekly. We got the top of this candle right here. There's that 490. Okay, just like it was like up here. Okay, here's that 490 chart. Now again, if you start cracking all the way up here, look at this. Look at all these targets that we have here. Okay, so you got the 536 level going on there. We'll come down here. You got 572 level. We come up here at that 627. We could just bring this price channel right across here. You got that 639. Bring that price channel across. You got 760, and you can rally all the way on up here. I mean, I'm not saying you're going to $10, but again, you know, you have a lot of good momentum. See how we had this chart on this weekly, and it's basically just consolidation. And what happens with this consolidation, once it starts breaking out, it just smokes higher or it rips down lower, one or the other. But what it does is just builds energy. So bottom line here, if this keeps on going, this is the key level that we're looking for, is that 490 level right there. Okay, so again, if we start going into that and above that, well, then we have so many more targets going all the way up here where you can get all the way up to even to that $10 area. Okay, kind of a situation. Now, again, on the downside, you can see here how it's holding everything very, very nicely. Okay, off this big candle, it held that 8-day. Look how nice it is. Now the 8-day crossed the 21-day, the 50-day. Now we're headed for that 200 SMA. But again, that key is going to be right there. Is going to be that 490. That's going to be very, very critical. And I think it's going to work itself right on up to that. Right now, you can see how nice this is holding, where we're looking for that 55 level. Now we're looking for that we look for that 58 level, and that's where we're at. But there's really nothing above there. There's no resistance. It's just all sticky right up to 490 level. Okay, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here tomorrow morning, and we'll do it all again. Now remember, API report for crude oil will be out today at 4:30. Trade us in front of you, not what you want.